that why we should write. Because nowadays this is a common question which is being asked by the students or the learners, that why write when I can type, or why write when I can record. And because we see that children, they start using mobile phones or computers very early in life, and nowadays, as we can say, that even the small children, they are put to computers. So because of that, there is a shift from writing to typing. And very often we see that when the learners, they start typing, then they are not typing the full word. Because when you type a few alphabets, then there is some artificial intelligence algorithm which is helping you or supporting you with certain words which will fit into the sentence. So you need not learn the spellings, because whenever you are making a spelling mistake, you get some help that your spelling is incorrect, and sometimes they are corrected automatically before you getting to know about it. So in today's date, there is this question arising that why we should learn to write when we can type. The answer to this question lies in the reason that writing is important not only for making a text simple, but it is also important because writing helps us in forming proper connection between what we are listening and how we are understanding it. We all know this very well, that if we listen and write, then we learn better. So somehow writing is helping our brain to function better. That is why writing is so important in school curriculum. Right? It is considered as important outcome of school education: reading, writing and arithmetic. These 3 R's, they are considered the basic outcome of school education. So we should try to understand that what is the importance of writing and why we must encourage students to write, even if later on they want to shift to typing. One of the important use of writing is that it will help in forming the connection between reading and writing. There is a connection between reading and writing, because first you listen, then you write. In between comes speaking also. When you listen, then you learn to speak, and when you read, then you learn to write. So there is connection between reading and writing. When you read and write together, then your understanding of the subject matter increases. Another reason is that when you go to higher classes, where a lot of information you are getting through oral medium, you will have to take notes. You have to note it down. You note it down for 2 basic reasons. One thing, it will fix the information in your mind. Second thing, it will become a reference for your future. Because later on when you have to revise, then you can reflect back to your notes. We all are in the habit of noting down all important information. For example, if there is some important phone number, you tend to write it down somewhere. If there is some bill or some payment, some relevant information or some work important which you have to do at specific date or time, you tend to note it down. When we note it down, then the information gets stored in our memory. Another reason may be that it helps in improving the expression. We all know of drafting. Whenever we have to do a longer piece of text, then we make a draft of it. What is a draft? Draft means you note down all key points. Then you organize them. You can take them up or down so that the final product which you want to make, that is more organized. So for improving the expression also you have to do drafting. That will be a written process and that will improve your expression. You can organize your thought better. We all know that speaking without preparation, it takes more of energy and more of organization at mental level. But when you are writing, then you get to know and you can arrange the text up and down to improve the expression. And of course, it helps in retaining or memorizing. That is a very common method. Whenever you have to do some learning of a question or answer, then what we do? We tend to write it many times. So when you write, then the information is stored better. It is retained better in your mind. And it also activates your neural system. What is the neural system? Neural word means brain. How does our brain functions? It functions through neurons. What are neurons? Neurons are cells which make the brain and spinal cord and all nerves. So all your learning, understanding, memorization, sensory impulses, they are those impulses which are carried by these special kind of cells which are called as neurons. And these neurons, they connect with other neurons by forming a connection which is called as synapse. If you want to know more about it, then there are not many videos available on the same channel about nervous system and neuron. You can go to it and gain some more knowledge about it, how the brain functions or how the neurons that form synapses and all. It will be important for those who want to study it in detail. If you don't want to, then this much of information is sufficient. Just remember that your brain or all your nervous system is made up of neurons, which are special kind of cells which help in understanding all the stimuluses and forming all the responses. This much is sufficient. But if you want to dig into it, then you can go to those videos and review them. So, coming back to the point that writing, it activates the neural system. That means it helps in forming the connection between neuron to neuron, which happens through synapse. So, because of that, the impulse, it passes very quickly. That means that there are some pathways which are fixed because the same information is passing through same neurons again and again. So because of that, we can say that these neural connections, they are activated and they help in transferring the information very quickly and fast. And another very important point, that writing, it activates reticular activating system. Which is also called as RAS. It is very important, you must know this. Reticular activating system, what is it? It is a system of the brain which will shut down all unimportant information and help you to concentrate or focus on the task which you are doing at that particular time. For example, as you are listening to this video, from outside the window. Maybe some bird has chirped, maybe your fan is making some noise, maybe there is some tuck noise which is coming in between due to some plumbing work going on somewhere. But when you are concentrating, then what is happening? You are not listening those sounds, right? So that means this reticular activating system, it is helping you to focus on the task which you are doing at that particular time. Actually, reticular activating system is a bundle of nerves which are present in our brain stem. Brain stem is that part where spinal cord it gets attached to the brain, somewhere here in the upper part of the neck. So this is a pencil-shaped organ part which is present in the brain stem, and it is filtering all the information which is not required for that particular time. So that means this reticular activating system, it is activated when we are writing. So that, what does it mean? It means that when we write, then it helps us to focus, and it also helps us to make us conscious and increase our motivation to do that particular task which we are doing at that time. So that is why writing is very important. If we don't do writing activities at the school level, then you may see that any one of or all of these factors, you will see that they will not develop properly. So that is why that it is important that we must learn how to write, even if we feel that in the later stages of life we are going to shift to verbal messages or maybe to typing. Whatever it may be, you may do as much of talking, as much of recording, as much of typing. But in examination system also, there is weightage for written examination. So for that also, writing work is to be improved, because otherwise the academic performance of the learner may suffer. So that is how we have understood that it is important for all